Hi everyone. So I really thought, first of all, it's a Friday night and I just came from happy hour with one of my coworkers. I've only had about 4 drinks, okay? But can I tell you the alcohol content in those 4 drinks? No. I had 2 glasses of wine. One of them, they asked me if I wanted I think they asked me if I wanted the 6 ounce or 9 ounce, and I went with the 9 ounces. Yeah. And so I thought this would be the perfect time to tell y'all about the time that I had to write a paper. Because I graduated in 2022 with my master's degree in social work. And I thought this would be a perfect time to tell y'all about the time that I had to write a paper while I was like drunk. And I wasn't fully aware that I was drunk, but your girl got an A on the paper because one thing that she is she's smart. She's a genius. Anyways, that's not what this video is about. As I was driving home from happy hour with my coworker, well, he drove me home, and I'm super happy about that because I have not had passenger princess treatment since I left Germany where my best friend Marcus was very, very accommodating. Yeah, there were times when I drove him too, but he knew that driving was not in my ministry, and so he would passenger princess me, whenever he could. And since I moved to Maryland, my sources of support are not here. They're very different. And I haven't had anybody to passenger princess me. And so I'm super grateful that my coworker, Rodriguez, offered to pick me up. We had a good time and took me back home. I don't know what's better than that. Like, I live for a passenger princess moment. I really do. But anyways, as we were coming home, we were talking about our military experiences and where we've been stationed. And so I've been stationed in Korea. I was in Korea for in 2019 to about early 2020. And when I got to Korea, there was a curfew. So you had to be back on base. I think it was by midnight. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. I cannot remember. It's been a couple of years. But there was a curfew. And so we were talking about that, and he was talking about his experience with curfew in Masawa. And so I was like, actually, I do remember one time when I was almost very, 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 very close to breaking curfew. And this is when I was in tech school. So tech school or technical training is what brand new airmen go through. This is when you're finished with basic training, and basic training is about getting you together, breaking you and remolding you into what the Air Force needs you to be. And then technical training is where you go to learn the job that you'll be doing in the Air Force, because everybody has a job that they do during peacetime. Obviously, for all military organizations, for all the branches, the ultimate mission is that should this country go to war, we have signed on a dotted line that we will do what we need to do, and we will go down range and we'll go to war. But right now, during peacetime, everybody has a job. Okay? And maybe in another video I'll tell you about my job. But that's the job. This video is not about my job. It is about the time that I almost missed curfew. So in tech school, there are a few airmen who volunteer to be or who step up to be peer leaders. And I was a peer leader. So there's a green rope, a yellow rope, and a red rope. And we can discuss this further in the comments if y'all want further clarification. Anyways, this one time in band camp, I'm kidding. I'm joking. But this one time, I decided that I was gonna check out the enlisted club on Lackland. So I was stationed in San Antonio for tech school, and I decided I was stationed at Fort Sam, and I decided that I was going to go check out the enlisted club at Lackland because I'd heard that it's a good time, it's popping, we can go there as tech schoolers and have a good time. This is about maybe like 35 minutes away, and then with traffic, maybe it could be 35 minutes to maybe 45 minutes away. Anyways, I go to this club. I go on base at Lackland to the enlisted club, and I'm like checking out the vibe. I go with a couple of friends, and I'm like, okay, this is a cute time. This is a cute time. This is, we're chilling, we're dancing, we're experiencing a little bit of freedom. We're not, in the rigidity of training. We're chilling, we're having drinks. And I was just like, I'm not chancing it. So let's order a cab at like 9:30. I was being responsible. We ordered the cab at 9:30. Tell me why the cab doesn't come. The cab does not come. And we're calling dispatch, and they're like, oh yeah, the cab is on the way, the cab is on the way, the cab is on the way. I think about this time, curfew for tech schoolers might have been like 11. It might have been like 11 or 12 o'clock, okay? And don't quote me on this because this was like in 2015, so I'm not remembering all the details. So this was like 11 or 12. And we called the cab at 9:30 because I want to be on the safe side. So the cab doesn't come. The cab does not come. We're calling dispatch. We're asking them. We're begging them. We're begging them at this point. And when the cab finally comes, it's about, let's say curfew's like 11, and the cab comes about 10:20. And at this point, remember, I'm a peer leader. I'm a yellow rope. So I wasn't a red rope yet. Red rope is the highest in the peer leaders that you can get. And I'm a yellow rope. And the cab comes about 10:20, right? And if curfew's at 11 and this cab comes about 10:20 and the distance is about 35 minutes, we are cutting it close. Okay? Close. So we're in the cab and I'm sitting on pins and needles. I'm literally at this point about to be on the verge of tears, begging this cab driver to drive as fast as he can to get me to my base so I don't miss curfew and we can check in. And I am so scared. I literally saw my whole life flash before my eyes. Like the amount of I just kept thinking like I would be so embarrassed. I would get in so much trouble. There is just absolutely no way that I could explain this. Me and my friends, we're sitting on pins and fucking needles, just like praying that this cab gets there on time. God came through like he always does, okay? And I get there with maybe like 5 minutes to spare. The cab lets us off and we are running. We are running to our dorms, like running to our dorms. And I make it just in time. And I was like, I am never doing that again. Ever. I am not even taking the chance. And so I think that one experience definitely colored my whole time in tech school. And there have been times when I've listened to other people talk about the fun that they had and the things that they did. And there have been times when I felt like I missed out. I could have been having more fun. But it was just kind of like driven into me that if you're holding the standard and you're doing what you're supposed to do, then you can't be questioned by the standard. You can't be, punished by the standard. Somebody said something, and I can't remember the exact quote, but they basically were saying, if you were busy holding the standard and doing what you were supposed to do, then you couldn't be questioned or punished by the standard. And so because I was a peer leader, I had to make sure that I was always maintaining and holding the standard that I was expecting others to follow or to hold. And so, it's kind of like you're holding yourself above the fray, because if I'm holding you to a standard, then I have to be doing the things that I'm expecting you to do. And so, yeah, that was my time in tech school, almost very, very, very closely, almost missing curfew. Yeah. Have a good night.